I've seen this played before. This is nothing new. And let me be clear right up front. This is not a vlog to bash Democrats at all. In fact, the vast majority of Democrats, the progressives, and many of the moderates, they are in the deal. They want to see Build Back Better come to fruition, and not just the hardware infrastructure bill. But I've seen this act before. Democrats are in full control of this process. So therefore, if this process fails, it's not the fault of Republicans. Republicans will remain the intransigent, don't care about humanity, fighting for the rich party incessantly. That's their modus operandi. But we have a party, there is a party that supposedly is there to support the middle class, the poor. And it's all in their power to do so. I've seen this before. And it's ironic because it is taking the same two-step process. To be clear, I am pretty darn sure, assuming none of our very old 80-something-year-old senators die, assuming none of the other Democratic senators get a heart attack or something, this bill, the Build Back Better bill, will pass. The question is, what in that bill will pass? How effective will that bill be? But let's go back a few years. Let's go back to 2010. And I want to show you a headline because this is very important. This headline says, Senate, let's get it on the screen. Senate Democrats drop the public option to woo Lieberman and liberals howl. Okay? In other words, we had a Democratic senator, Senator Lieberman, holding the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, hostage if they decided to put a public option in, if they decided to allow health care, a Medicare buy-in to people between the years of 54 and 66. So it wasn't Republicans holding back Obamacare. It wasn't the Republicans saying, we don't want this bill, because we know they didn't want the bill. But we had in the 2009 and 2010, we had a 60 Senate, which means a filibuster-proof Senate, and it was a Democrat who said, we are not going to get this bill passed if we put in the full set of support, humane support for Americans. So we had to drop the public option. In those days, many of us progressives, as we blogged, as we preached, as we went on to CNNI reports, as we did all these features, we said, if you drop the public option, why have a bill? In effect, it's another giveaway once again to the insurance companies. Now look, to be clear, Obamacare saved my life. I got screening that I would not have gotten if Obamacare hadn't been there. We were able to continue affording ever elevating prices of insurance because Obamacare put some limits in there. But the constant growth of healthcare continued, not because Democrats did a bad job, because one Democrat, several or a very few Democrats decided they were not going to support the public options or policies that would make it better and prevent the pharmaceutical companies, prevent the hospital companies, prevent the insurance companies from screwing us all. They had their defenders. The Republicans weren't going to do anything, but they had their defenders in the Democratic Party who pretty much went against their own people. And when I say their own people, I'm not just talking Democrats. I'm talking about Americans. And here comes another headline. That headline continues. Why Joe Lieberman is holding back. Why is Joe Lieberman holding back Barack Obama's? He's holding Barack Obama ransom over health care. In other words, do it my way or the highway, he said. And in the process of fighting for all these changes, you know what happened? Senator Kennedy dies. Senator Kennedy dies. We no longer have a filibuster-proof majority. So therefore, we revert to exactly what we have today, and that is passing the bill that the Senate came up with that progressives didn't want, but they had no option. So they were extorted into accepting the Senate version of the bill, which they had no choice. They had to do it. And then picked up on something known that we are all familiar with now, reconciliation, which changed and added a few things that they could agree on, that they could get 51 votes, Democratic votes for, to get it passed into law, the portions that needed change, which included education, loans, etc., etc., etc. But the process here is this. When Democrats are offered the full context of working for their people, there are always a few that continue to be controlled by a plutocracy that pretty much says, we're going to give you some, but we are still in control. And even though our slaves in the Republican Party are not there to save us, we have a few wrenches to throw because we have enough Democrats on our payroll that won't allow you, Democrats, to get the job done. Now let's rewind into 2021. You notice the title of this blog that I have now is "The two infrastructure bills may be a worse capitulation than the two Obamacare bills." Remember, the Obamacare bill was passed in two pieces as well. Some people like to say, oh, the Obamacare wasn't passed on reconciliation. Damn it, it was passed on reconciliation because we had to make the fixes to the Senate bill to make it more humane using that reconciliation process. We had to do it. There was no choice. Now, here is a similar headline. The similar headline, Joe Manchin, and it says, Manchin puts paid family leave, Medicare vouchers on spending bill chopping block. In other words, another Democrat is holding, one Democrat is holding Build Back Better hostage. He's trying to come up with every kind of excuse. Oh, with inflation rising, it may cause inflation. Of course, 16 emeritus economists said it will reduce inflation or at best leave it as is because, again, the bill is virtually paid for. Then he says, no, we don't want family leaves. How can we add family leave when Social Security could go bankrupt, when Medicare could go bankrupt? They don't have to. We just have to stop allowing rich people to not pay Social Security taxes on all of their incomes. You allow that to occur, suddenly we are awash in Social Security money. Suddenly we are awash in Medicare money. But no, most Americans don't know these features, that rich people don't pay past $100 and something thousand of their income in Social Security. Most Americans don't know that those people who get capital gains, they don't pay that high tax rates that you get that would bring the monies into the coffers to allow us to have Build Back Better on steroids. They don't know that. They think that somehow these rich people who actually is pilfering our money because that money doesn't belong to them. It is our excess labor that they're spending. It's what they didn't pay us that is their wealth. And Joe Manchin is saying, you know what? You know what? I am not willing to charge those people who already are living on your backs a penny more, so that if you have a kid, you can stay home longer. So that if you have a sick mother, a sick father, a sick daughter, a sick anything, that you can take care of that person, knowing that you have a social safety net that is there to assist you. Because that is what's known as humane. That is what's known as a society. That is the definition of society. But our economic system, or unfettered capitalistic economic system, says to hell with that. And we will have somebody in every party, Joe Manchin, Christian Cinema, in the Democratic Party to hold you hostage. You can't move till we say you can. Till we allow you to move. So again, I've seen this game before. And right now, I hate to tell all my progressive brethren, we are locked in this game right now. There's no escape for this game right now because, yes, it's worse in the case of Obamacare. Obamacare had 60 votes, so we could lose 59 votes later on. We could lose a few. But if one of our octogenarians dies or gets sick, we lose the Senate. If we piss off Joe Manchin too badly, he makes Mitch McConnell the speaker. We're between a rock and a hard place. So how do we get out of this? We are going to have to take what we can get for now. But come 2022, we're going to have to defy everything that you hear on TV. I want you to remember what is geometric progression. I want you to remember the word grassroots. I want you to remember how to talk to your neighbor. And I'm not talking about talking to your liberal and progressive neighbor. I'm talking about speaking to all of the people whom you know. And explain to them not to like you, not to like liberals, not to like progressives, not to hate others. Express to them that working together is the only way. Supporting policies together is the only way either one of you would do good. You're not looking for a friend, you're looking for an ally. You're looking for somebody who understands that Joe Manchin is no friend to either Republican or Democrat. You're looking to someone to understand that the plutocracy is the enemy of us all. And that the only way for us to get what we want is not only demand what we want, but elect people who have no fear in having these guys dangle hundreds of thousands of dollars in front of them and say, you don't do what we want, we'll give this to your opponent. Do you think they could ever tell that to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? She defies the system by saying, I am not going to use the type of funding that you guys use. I'll develop my funding. Grassroots. We can look at Ilhan Omar. We can look at all these other folks that are starting to create this new paradigm where they are no longer warrants of the plutocracy. Folks, we're going to have to work this on a two-tier process. The first one, geometric progression. Make sure you talk to 10, 20 people and ask each one of those to talk to 10, 20 people. Geometric progression says we'll have the whole damn country in a few weeks. This can be done. This has got to be done. We cannot allow the plutocracy to simply hold on to a few people to hold the entire country hostage. It's in your hands. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.